Good evening, y'all. What a night. Thank you, South Carolina. Let's hear it for the voters of the Low Country tonight. Give yourself a round of applause. This will go down as the most expensive primary in South Carolina history, and you won tonight. $7 million was spent against us. We were outspent more than 3-1 everywhere across the district. But you guys pulled it through for us. I would be remiss if I didn't start off my speech tonight by talking about an experience I had in May of 2019. Two things happened in May of 2019. I attended church for the first time in a very long time. To my surprise, I did not spontaneously combust. The sermon that Saturday night was about being at a crossroads in life. And I was at a tremendous crossroads in life. A crossroads that many of us have experienced. And that night, the pastor talked about Jeremiah 6:16. Stand by the roads and look. Find where the good way is and walk in it. And that night, as I had tears streaming down my cheeks, one of my kids put their hands around my waist and said, "Mama, it's going to be okay. We are going to be okay, and I love you." This moment in church changed my life, changed my trajectory forever. So by his grace and by the grace of God, I want to say thank you to Pastor Josh Surratt. The father of my children is here tonight. Curtis, I could not do this without you and your fiance, Jen. In May of 2019, my best friend, in May of 2019, Curtis had called me, and he's like, I had a dream about you last night. I think I have finally figured you out. And I think I figured out why you do this political thing. He said, one, this job, this political job, this government job, it gives you a purpose in life you've never really had. And he said, it drives who you are every single day. He says, you know what? You're good at it. So I said, if you'd said that 5 years earlier, we'd still be together. But he's fantastic, a wonderful human being. I love his fiance. You guys have been incredible to me and the kids and supporting me. I could not do this without you. I want to thank my mom and dad. They're here somewhere. There they are. Mom and dad. They are the bumper sticker machine. So we sent out more bumper stickers in this election than in any prior election ever. So Dad would stuff the envelopes, Mom would put the labels on or hand address the envelopes, and they were a machine. And if I didn't have stamps and letters and envelopes in time for them to mail it out, they would call me screaming, "Where are the bumper stickers?" And so you guys were a machine. Thank you. I love you both tremendously. I want to thank my children, obviously, Curtis and Jen. I thanked y'all earlier. Thank you. I want to thank the sorority who is here tonight. Dr. Katad, my chief of staff, is floating around here somewhere. Dr. Katad is here. Chelsea, one of the OGs, one of the originals, is in the back. You've been with me since 2019. Jamie and Susan, my moms for Mace, my Jewish coalition, my shoulder to cry on. Sydney, Claire, Ellie, Lauren. In the sorority, we allow men, so let me recognize the guys in our operation. John and Duke, Matthew, Whit, Doug, Woody, Patrick, Joel, the teen yard sign team, Maddox, Mike, and Miles, JC, and Dan and Gary, our event and sound operation, and last but not least, Beaufort Billy, who put out all of our yard signs, I think, in Beaufort County, you and Patrick Daly, so thank you. Beaufort Billy is up here tonight. I mean, if your sign is in Beaufort County, between Beaufort Billy and Patrick, they did it all. I want to thank our state and local leaders, from the governor, Henry McMaster, to our mayors, to state house reps, to state senators, to city and county council members. I also want to give a giant heartfelt thank you to the 45th and 47th President of the United States for his support. President Trump, South Carolina will have your back in November. Thank you all for standing by me and sticking with me, and many of you for sticking up for me. Throughout this campaign, you have done what I do in Washington. You turned out the senseless noise, and you focused on what is important to move South Carolina forward and lift all of us up. It continues to be the honor of my lifetime to represent you, the people of South Carolina. You've entrusted me with a sacred duty to be your representative in Congress. In return, I pledge to continue to represent you and your families without fear of alienating the so-called powerful Washington elite. You want to see the real power? All you have to do is look in the mirror. You, the people, are the power. It's not in Washington. You hold it in the tip of your hand. So while they might be calling the race for me tonight, tonight is really your victory. Washington has it completely backwards. They think they are in charge of your lives. And anytime someone comes along and calls them out, you get labeled as a rebel, you get labeled as a renegade, you get labeled as a rabble-rouser, and sometimes you get labeled as a maverick. They don't want their comfortable existence messed with by someone who isn't impressed with their lofty titles. That reminds them every day that Washington is not in charge. You, the people, are. I'm unafraid. I'm unafraid to stand on principle. I'm unafraid to stand up to powerful people. And I'm unafraid to stand up to powerful forces. And there are consequences for standing up to these powerful forces. I'm not afraid of any of them because I don't owe Washington a thing. Thank you, babe. Coming from a military family and as the first female graduate of the Citadel, I know a little bit about the chain of command. I don't work for Washington. I work for you, the people of South Carolina. I work for you, the Low Country. I work for the single moms who want to be able to afford formula and diapers. I work for the families. Thank you, babe. I work for the families who are trying to keep up to afford gas, to afford groceries, electricity, and rent. I work for the survivors of sexual abuse and victims of violent crime who want to live in a safe home and a safe neighborhood. I work for the parents who want to have a say in what their kids are being taught in our schools. I work for the police officers who deserve the respect and gratitude of the citizens they protect. I work for our veterans and the troops who are willing to take a bullet for our lives and put it all on the line to preserve our freedom. So thank you to our vets tonight. While you're at home trying to balance your own budgets, I will never be silent when Congress can't balance theirs. When I was first elected, I was told if I didn't fall in line, if I didn't play the Washington political insider game, then I wouldn't fit in. And boy, were they right. And that's just fine with me. I'm used to it. I spent my entire life marching to the beat of my own drum. When you were the first woman to sit in the Citadel's barber chair to get all of your hair chopped off, you don't get your feelings hurt if you don't get invited to the fancy cocktail parties in Washington, D.C. I'll pass. While sometimes I may be a caucus of one, I'm not alone because I'm not there for me. I'm there for each and every one of you. When I'm in D.C., I bring a piece of everyone in my district with me. Your stories are my stories. Your worries are my worries, and your dreams are my dreams. Your support for me is only outweighed by my duty to you. It's now time, at this time, to come together in common purpose to lift up our country back up to where she belongs. It's time to work together for an economy that keeps more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. It's time to work together for a secure border and an immigration system that respects the rule of law. Donald Trump, it's time to work together for a rock-solid military that nobody would dare test. Because because history shows us that strength preserves peace and weakness invites war. And it's time to work together for a unified love of America, a renewed sense of patriotism, a respect for all people of goodwill that these times demand and our citizens deserve. Before I went to the Citadel, I was a high school dropout working at a Waffle House on the side of the highway. Actually, delivering food to people's tables gives you a pretty good sense of how hard it is for people everywhere to put food on their own tables. Now, when I walk the historic halls of the U.S. House, I am still the same woman from the kitchen at Waffle House. While I may have traded my apron for a dress, my job is still the same. I still go to work every day to serve you and to serve the Low Country. So tonight, I want to say thank you, my sincerest gratitude. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for allowing me to be to have the privilege to be your server. Thank you. You can clap. So God bless the Low Country. God bless the people of South Carolina. And God bless America. Let's go win this thing in November. Thank you.